My name is Kelly Duquette. I'm a Métis student, artist. I've always been painting. My grandmother paints, my mom paints, and I grew up in a very artsy household. My stepfather was a photographer, and I guess I just grew up around it. So I started off doing realistic art. Then my mother got me into woodland style, Norvell Morisot inspired work. I took that into university, and all my professors said, drop the black lines, get rid of those lines around your work. This woodland style is not you. It's not reflective of your story. And I thought, well, it could be, but maybe it's not. And how would I find a way to reflect my story into my artwork? So I used process instead of an end result as my guiding artistic method. I wanted it to be more about the process and creating a work that was reflective of who I was. I actually stretch canvas onto wooden stretchers. I used to build my own when I had access to a wood shop. Now I just buy the stretcher and canvas on top, take away the already primed canvas and put on raw canvas. And I work with raw canvas or Belgian linen. My process is metaphorical, and it represents a part of our history. So each step in my process represents a different part of who I am and who Métis people are, our shared story. So in the very beginning, I spray the pigment and I spray the paints in together, and the mixing of the colors represents ethnogenesis, like the creation of our new culture, our nation, because it becomes one color. The second step is usually using rubber, and I paint with the rubber. I don't actually draw out my shapes or anything. I paint the shapes with rubber or liquid frisket, and when it dries, I do more of those sprays and mixing over top. And once that dries, I peel away the rubber. And as I'm peeling, it represents the stripping away of our culture that happened to my grandmother, for example, or my great-great-grandmother, for example. And that stripping away is also commonly talked about in residential schools, day schools. My third step in the process is using opaque paint, and I piece in little opaque pieces of paint throughout my paintings to cover up and oppress the mixed colors below. And the opaque paint kind of stands for the oppression and assimilation and becoming part of the dominant society that happened to a lot of us, Métis people. And I incorporate beadwork in an abstract way. I don't do, the traditional flowers that we wear on our shawls. I use pieces of beads, strings of beads, incomplete shapes of beads. And that to me symbolizes that although I've retained a part of who I am, there's still so much more to learn and so much more to explore. So I leave those little pieces throughout my painting as a reminder of our resilience and how we're still fighting to understand who we are.